Hello, my name is Maxine Samone. I'm here to share a touch of Venus with you. Thank you for sharing your time and energy. Hello, my name is Maxine Samone. I'm here to share a touch of Venus with you. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me. If you're seeing this on TikTok, like the video, support the channel, subscribe. It's a free way to support the channel. And if you're interested in personal readings, everything can be found at atouchofvenus.com, and that's the only place you can book a personal reading. If somebody's reaching out to you, it is not me, okay? We are going to get into a collective message. We got Kali popping out. We got Kali popping out. Collective message. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. We're just going to keep it flowing. We're going to keep it going because I have about a half an hour. I don't have any downloads. We're just going to see what comes out. Ooh, Higher Will. Number 20. Ascended Master El Moria. Moria. I don't know. I think Moria. And Blue Star Sapphire. That may be a crystal that resonates with you. And Blue Star Sapphire. That may be a crystal that resonates with you. Obviously the blue, it makes me think of the throat. But when we're talking about higher will, and the bottom of the deck has searing presence. And the bottom of the deck has searing presence. I just feel like Spirit is very close to you right now, leading you to something. It feels like there may be a sacred pause going on right now because things may be being arranged for you at the moment, you know? Meaning that you just kind of have to be in this place of surrender. We have higher will and we have searing presence. It just feels like Spirit is like, they're like, look, you're not forgotten about. We've had many collective messages come through regarding your prayers being answered, or especially this eclipse, if you were manifesting anything, and whether it's recommended or not, if you felt called to and you've been, just know that things are being arranged for you at the moment. Let's see what this is concerning. Maybe regarding a relationship or partnerships or people coming into your life or people being removed from your life. So I did see the 7th house relationships popping out. That's a lot. We have desire. We'll take desire. So again, I think that you had a really private conversation with the higher ups around the eclipses. This past eclipse, it may have been this last one or like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe in between then you've been speaking with the higher ups with the blue, you know, like really just like asking for what you want. I think there's been like a release of shame around asking for what you want. I think there's been like a release of shame around asking for what you want. I think you've just been getting really clear. Really, really clear. And so I feel like this is confirmation that as I'm saying that air element communicating, that what you've been saying, your desires have been heard. And then we have a rebirth. We have the 8th house, endings and beginnings. And then we have a rebirth. We have the 8th house, endings and beginnings. But that's in the reverse. A slight delay between you and the alignment of, I feel like, your desires. We're going to get into what those blocks could be. We have 4th house roots. We have Virgo, analyze, on the bottom of the deck. So you may be cleaning house right now, or Spirit is asking you to kind of clean house. They may be doing that as well. Deck. So you may be cleaning house right now, or Spirit is asking you to kind of clean house. They may be doing that as well. It's like, again, preparing something for you. So, clean house, they may be doing that as well. It's like, again, preparing something for you. So, I just feel like they're like, you're going to need a lot of space. It's almost like, and I think they're congratulating you on that, on thinking bigger, being expansive, and all of those things. But look at, it's like the angels, they have their arms open, they're clearing space for you to kind of like drop in. Do you see this baby right here? Feels like there's something that is going to be repetitive and all of those things. But look at, it's like the angels, they have their arms open, they're clearing space for you to kind of like drop in. Do you see this baby right here? Feels like there's something that is going to be rebirthed and grounded. But it feels like they're making space, or really this feels like making space specifically in your heart, because we have, it looks like this heart, right? They're opening it up. And then we have searing presence here, and this talks about, right, they're opening it up. And then we have searing presence here, and this talks about Spirit being right with you, you know, like, and you also being a very, like, having a strong vibration, people like noticing you and kind of being okay with making a statement by just your embodiment. But it feels like this searing presence is really felt in the heart space. And so they may be like expanding this, because in order to receive more, you have to be able to open your heart more, a heart space. And so they may be like expanding this, because in order to receive more, you have to be able to open your heart more. Maybe you have not received at this level before. The things that you're asking for to open your heart more, maybe you have not received at this level before. The things that you're asking for, it's beautiful that your consciousness has opened up, it's expanded enough for you to think about these things, to think that it's attainable for you. That's, you know, those are important steps. If you can't think it, if you can't even imagine it, then it's not available to you, you know, even though it could be. So Spirit's been like really working with you in your mindset to get you to the place where those things are available to you, you know. And now it feels like the heart is now expanding. It's like, okay, your consciousness, your mind had to expand so that you could have these thoughts, because, you know, thoughts materialize into things. But then you had to actually ask for it. You had to go to the throat chakra. You had to ask for it. And now right beneath the throat chakra is this heart chakra. It's expanding, you know. So it feels like you're kind of going in order, or Spirit is like I said, getting things in order. That feels about right. Did you know that there's a chakra? I know I don't say that right, but I'm not about to try to pronounce it all fancy, okay? But chakra, okay? There's one called the higher heart, right between the throat chakra and the heart chakra. And this is where you speak from compassion. And so maybe that was activated. It also is a mix between that blue and pink color. Maybe there was a conversation that you had that activated that higher heart, or is expanding that. That is where, when you are manifesting or speaking from a very compassionate impact, or is expanding that. That is where, when you are manifesting or speaking from a very compassionate, empathic place, when your heart and your throat is connected. So it's like you praying for things, or for things to be moved, or including people in your prayers, that it affects not only you, but everyone involved. It's when you're able to speak from, like, look at the prayer card popping out. Well, the temple. The temple talks about connecting to the body, but specifically we have the prayer hands right here, you know. So, and then we have all these triangles. This is clarifying this desire card. So I feel like the things that you were asking for are not only for yourself, but everyone involved, meaning that you could be considering your family in these things. You could be including the collective in your prayers. I think also that the desires that you have aren't just yours. I've said this before. The desires that you have maybe, it's like twofold, that you could be picking up on desires from others that need you to step into your purpose because they're waiting for your piece of the puzzle for their puzzle. You know what I'm saying? So you could be picking up on that strong desire for you to share your gifts or to shine your light on the world, you know, or you could also be picking up on the desires that Spirit is placing on your heart because you play a part in the collective. And when you clear your body, when you clear that channel like a real channel for divine energy to flow through you, you're not just doing your body. When you clear that channel like a real channel for divine energy to flow through you, you're not just doing things because it's for your own selfish benefit. You know that you're like kind of being of service, and Spirit is using you as a vehicle, you know, kind of being of service, and Spirit is using you as a vehicle, you know. This feels like a very spiritual message. Like, obviously we're dealing with spiritual topics because I'm giving you a reading right now. We're doing the collective spiritual message. Like, obviously we're dealing with spiritual topics because I'm giving you a reading right now. We're doing the collective reading. But this feels like a very angelic or a reading right now. We're doing the collective reading. But this feels like a very angelic, or it gives it like they're giving me biblical language to use, and I'm not super well versed with like that. So maybe this collective is very has like a very biblical background or a religious background that, you know, is the foundation for your spiritual beliefs. But it feels like the words that I'm using or that they're giving me is like very much like Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of thing. Like, because I see the Father card and communicating. Like, you're communicating with the divine, with higher level consciousness, with the Father. And then we have Gnosis, which is your inner knowing. This is that rebirth energy. And then we also have something being passed down to you. And like I said, this feels like more like the thread usually talks about coming out of a dark space, but it's more like I feel like the angels are passing something down to you through the heart space, through this level of consciousness, through opening this channel, this line to the divine. Hi, Dragon Balls. Hi, Dragon Ball. Through opening this channel to the divine, it feels like they are going to be placing something on your heart. Specifically, it feels like this image is really sticking out to me. And then when I see Virgo on the bottom of the deck again, we see angel here. And then we see like this opening, and we see this angel opening the heart, you know, and they're like right on top of each other. And then we have right beneath that, we have this line, and then we have the medallion here where it's like they're dropping something down into your heart space. That feels really powerful. And then the fourth house roots, we have the king. Literally, we have like, it's like grounding this higher level consciousness. This feels like when you activate or you're actually like elevated into 5D consciousness, it feels like you activate like a different level of seeing and knowing. It feels like there's literally they talk about the rebirth, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, this kind of reading, hi, there's literally they talk about the rebirth, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, this kind of reading, hi, this reading really gives like very biblical, so like you can study the story biblical, so like you can study the stories of, you know, different religious stories, but they all talk about this rebirth, you know. Specifically we're talking about Yeshua, stories of, you know, different religious stories, but they all talk about this rebirth, you know. Specifically we're talking about Yeshua. This feels like masculine. It feels like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I do see, just we're talking about Yeshua. This feels like masculine. It feels like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I do see, just popped out to me too, this Egyptian right here. So we could be talking about Horus. We could be talking about the Eye of Horus, because, you know, he was like, we're talking about be talking about the Eye of Horus, because, you know, he was like, we're talking about the coming of the Messiah type of thing, but it's a Christ consciousness, to have like have this higher level consciousness, the King, to go from the coming of the Messiah type of thing, but it's a Christ consciousness, to have like have this higher level consciousness, the King, to go from this understanding. I feel like I'm not getting the word. Use the words like Father, you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, things like that. The Father, and we kind of, as children, when we're born into the world, we inherently have like that. The Father, and we kind of, as children, when we're born into the world, we inherently have this void space, and we're trying to fill it up with things, and we always want to fill it with the divine. But we know that, and we're taught, we're programmed with these religious structures, depending on your background, right? And the language even used, the Father, it's like we're constantly looking for that thing, and we don't actually know what we're looking for until you start to go on your own journey, your own healing journey, right? And so shifting the language of like from Father to King, you know what I'm saying? From Father to, it's not so much of like from Father to King, you know what I'm saying? From Father to, it's not someone that is going to save you or impede on your free will, or it's not someone that is going to save you or impede on your free will, or it's not a personified thing either. It's a like spirit. It's bigger. It's bigger than our consciousness can compute, but we try as humans to compute it. So we use these structures that we have in our life, like parents, to kind of like understand the relationship that we have with the divine. And I feel like Spirit is saying that that's kind of shifting for this collective. It's like you guys are really shifting into a higher level consciousness where you're understanding the leadership that you have in your own life in convening with the divine. And specifically what I said about like not impeding on your free will. We just talked about like you get a download or you get information or you get inspired, and then you have to speak it. You have to ask for it. You have to ask for it. We just talked about like you get a download or you get information or you get inspired, and then you have to speak it. You have to ask for it. You have to ask for assistance with these things. You know what I'm saying? Activating your high heart chakra means that you're speaking for the benefit of the creative frequency to benefit the whole collective. You know what I'm saying? Hi. And so this message really feels like this particular collective has activated a higher level consciousness, and you're grounding that. And I feel like Spirit, you might have asked for assistance with this. We have the vow on the bottom of the deck. We have the unseen on the bottom of the deck as well, like as I pick up that card. And it feels like there's something that's very important being passed down to you. I kind of want to get more details into like what's being passed down, but it feels like you've unlocked something within you've experienced, I think over time, or this like, it might have been gradual, and that's a beautiful thing if it was gradual and not overnight, because overnight can be so fucking overwhelming. But it feels like with this desire card, this flame in the temple, it feels like you guys have gone or have been going through a Kundalini awakening, which means that you have your masculine and feminine energies intertwining, basically creating, and it's feeling like literally a higher level consciousness is being born. Something being passed down, a higher level consciousness. A higher level consciousness is being born. Something being passed down, a higher level consciousness of understanding spirit on a deeper level, not from this, something being passed down, a higher level consciousness of understanding spirit on a deeper level, not from this old religious structure of like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, but more so like the Holy Trinity within you. I feel like I'm not doing this message justice, but I feel like it's a level, not from this old religious structure of like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, but more so like the Holy Trinity within you. I feel like I'm not doing this message justice, but I feel like it's so big. It feels like I'm not doing this message justice, but I feel like it's so big. It feels like, I don't know, it just feels like, it feels like almost, I don't know, it just feels like, it feels like almost a stationing of something, like something is, I just hear like a robotic sound of like shh, you know what I'm saying, like coming onto the ground, like a spaceship landing or something. And that's what it feels like, is like this portal opening up, this heart portal opening up of like something being grounded here. I know that sounds kind of opening up of like something being grounded here. I know that sounds kind of out there, but it is what it is. I'm looking around to see if I can find like cards that will help me like give words to this. I feel like I fucking can't find the words. But actually, let's get these angel cards, because this feels very otherworldly, or not so much otherworldly. It's like, just feels very like intense, spiritually intense, important. Angel of Purity is kind of popping out. Angel of Libra, we just had this whole Libra eclipse and things, and Libra is not an energy, like when it comes to like esoteric knowledge, Libra is a very serious energy. It holds a lot of esoteric knowledge. There's a big rabbit hole you can go down when you study Libra, which is so interesting to me, because as a sign, like in pop culture astrology, it's not giving but it like its depth. But I feel like Libra stands for so much as far as like balance, integrity, spiritual laws, code, you know what I'm saying? It's relationships, contracts, spiritual agreements, karma. Like there's so much to unfold there, that there's literally esoteric books called Libre de blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So if you're a Libra, shout out to you. Or you have Libra placements. But let's see. Can I get some assistance here? Because I feel like Sariel, Angel of the Waning Moon. We got a little owl right there. I don't know if you can see him, but you see this. Let's look at this card together. I love this artwork here. Okay. My body wanes and it is distorted. Smoke moves all around me, troublesome clouds, and it's as if I cease to exist. I blink in and out of time and wonder if I can still be seen when the light of seeing is denied even to me. Do you still whisper at dusk or cry out for me at midnight? Do you still reach to pull yourself up into my light, or do you ebb as I wane? This is beautiful. I feel that these cards are also not hard to interpret for me, but hard to put it to words what I'm feeling. But my body wanes and is distorted. To me, that line, it highlights our mortality. And then the rest speaks to our immortality as a spirit, as an essence, especially as Christ consciousness, as we elevate, you know? So it says, I blink in and out of time and wonder if I can still be seen when the light of seeing is denied even to me. So, that to me, it's like the writer of this card feels like Christ consciousness. Does that make sense? Because it says I blink in and out of time, and it's like those that can see, and those that can't, it does not exist to them. It's not in their reach. You know what I'm saying? It's not in their sight. It's not in their perception, you know? I wonder if I can still be seen even when the light of seeing is denied even to me. So it's like, again, the immortality of it all and the access of it is really based on perception and your ability to have gone into the depths, to go into the dark and still see yourself. Do you still whisper at dusk or cry out for me at midnight? Do you still reach to pull yourself into my light? Do you still whisper at dusk or cry out for me at midnight? Do you still reach to pull yourself into my light? I feel like this is so, it's like cryptic, but I feel like that is so, like, the higher realms is so cryptic, you know? The gate, literally the gate. Look at that, looks like heaven. Well, that's what I imagine, I guess. The gate of Sakiel. I watched as the clouds poured forth from the mouth of the opening of Sakiel. I watched as the clouds poured forth from the mouth of the opening. The sky on the other side leaked through the flow down into the valley below. Compared to the great emptiness of the valley, the stream might as well have been fed through the eye of a needle, for it accomplished the same. The sky on the other side leaked through the flow down into the valley below. Compared to the great emptiness of the valley, the stream might as well have been fed through the eye of a needle, for it accomplished the same. Even so, it regarded the world openly and boldly beyond its arches, the great, for it accomplished the same. Even so, it regarded the world openly and boldly beyond its arches, the great seraphim, Sahakio, reclined. Seraphim angels are very high angels. They are supposedly the ones that guard the gates of heaven. They're constantly singing their burning fire. They are supposedly have lions' heads and many wings and all of those things. Like I said, this reading feels very biblical. So you may be into studying angels or working with angels. We have on the bottom of the deck Bina, emanation of knowledge, and then we have the emanation of beauty, Tiferet. So the emanations. Also, I said I didn't have any downloads, but I kept picking shows this weekend. I was kind of chilling and relaxing, and I wasn't taking in wasn't doing a whole lot, but I kept picking shows that had Jewish characters, like emphasized Jewish characters. So you may want to study like the mysticism, you know, because Judaism is very mystic, you know. So, and we're talking about emanations and things like that. So the tree of life, especially we have this tree here. I don't know, but what really stood out to me in this card is that we're talking about the seraphim, and I feel like from what I've studied, from what I've read, from other mystics and things like that, is that seraphim don't normally come down and interact with the folks down here. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like a very, I don't know, this collective could be a very special group of souls. Or maybe you have access to higher level information. Again, we have the angel of the unseen, and then we have the unseen here as well. And we have this seraphim, to me, especially with all of the wings. We have the owl here, and we have this beautiful bird right here as well. And look at, we have like all of these wings. Look at that angel with multiple wings up here. It just feels like there could, maybe you're getting assistance from like very high-ranking angels. Maybe maybe you're very connected up there. You know, you got friends in high places. And so, I don't know if you've ever had meditation with those type of visions, because we just had visions come out. Angel of Sagittarius. Interesting. So maybe you want to look at where Sagittarius is in your charts. Maybe you have major Sagittarius placements, but Sagittarius is the master teacher, is also the wounded healer. They're very curious about all, studies of belief systems. So like we just mentioned, like we were going into biblical, and I just recommended like Judaism, and then I said like the Jewish mysticism, and then I said the tree of life, the Kabbalah, like all these things. So maybe you're someone that can combine and synthesize a lot of information, which allows you to see the truth through all of the different ways it's presented, So when the world we live in feels too constrained, our eyes lift to the horizon. The endlessness of the world calls for us to depart from our lives and become a part of the unknown. In this space beyond the veil of the familiar, adventure waits. A part of us never stopped existing in the wilderness. Advakiel, that is the angel Sagittarius, I guess, guides us to rejoin the union, to seek for the sake of seeking, to live for the sake of life. Oh, I love that. To seek for the sake of seeking. And then we have the angel of time, Remph, R-E-M-P-H. Angel of time. The ocean pulsed, pushed onward, beat by beat, marching forward. They die upon the beach, and with each stroke the sand pulls upon the stones, polishing face smooth. I'm not gonna lie, this one's kind of throwing me for a loop. Especially considering that this does not have any depiction of a beach or anything related, on this card. This is the Angel of Time. But what I do see is it almost looks like he's sitting on the moon, and the moon has some symbols on there. It's really interesting, but I'm going to get one more. Angel of Pride. Angel of Pride. This card is really pretty. But that line is standing out to me. There's many things that are standing out to me on this card. Angel of Pride. All hail, firstborn, giver of names, father of giants, protector of the house of man. Long shall be his days. Interesting. So now it's kind of starting to come together. We have Angel of the Written Word. Interesting. And then Angel of Dust. And then we're talking about like the oceans like washing upon the shores, and then what I was picturing was like the granules of sand, and then we have Angel of Dust, which kind of gives me the same thing. But it feels like this collective, what I'm kind of seeing with the clarification of the angel cards, is that, especially with it specifically mentioning the father and man, and that's dealing with pride and the ego, and then we have time, which is connected to Capricorn, Saturn, the way that this world works, and then we have these other higher level, and we're talking about higher level because we're talking about near the gates of heaven, being able to see the truth, decipher the truth, to always turn towards Christ consciousness, even though, or turn to the light or connect with that higher source. That's what it feels like. And even the cards, the way that they are, like the way that I arrange them in order, it's like the first three that are the expansive cards that feel like a lighter energy are looking one way, and then we have the other two cards facing them almost in opposition. And then the card of the angel of the written word is on the bottom of the deck, and there's like blinders on her, which I find to be really interesting, because this feels like being able to, again, to synthesize information, or that you don't have to read these particular texts, or maybe when you do, again, you have like this ability to see between the, like, read between the lines quite literally. I just feel like you can see through the smoke and mirrors. You have a truth to reveal to the collective, or something to teach the collective, something about putting it all together, it feels like, and Spirit is really encouraging you to do that. Two of Cups and the Fire, because you've gone through the Kundalini awakening. You've gone through awakening. I don't know if you've had multiple awakenings, but it feels like you are someone that has reached a certain level of enlightenment, like Magician and Accepted. Like, you are an alchemist. You have gone through some kind of particular journey that I feel like Spirit wants to almost use you as an example now. You've already been being used as an example. But it says you are a messenger, speak your truth. Like, you have some kind of revelation to bring the collective. You have rebirth. You've gone through the resurrection. That's what it was. We're talking about this. The greatest story ever told, in my opinion, is that of Yeshua, you know? And you've gone through that through your own body, you've ascended, you've hit a certain level of enlightenment, you're tapped into Christ consciousness. And so, like, you actually understand, and you're like, yes, I went through some shit. I feel like this collective is like, yes, I went through some shit, but did I really experience that? Like, that they talk about, yet that, you know, I read about, that I study, and I'm getting chills, and it's saying fear is making you question it. And it's like, yes, you have gone through this rebirth. We have Virgo here, again, popping out again, and Virgo is that of purity. And then we have Cancer, interesting. In order to have gone through this rebirth, you had to have connected to, yes, you've had to go through both energies, the divine. You had to rework your masculine, and you had to rework your feminine. You had to have them both come together and come in union. I don't know if you did some kind of specific ritual, routine, some kind of specific ritual, routine. It was some kind of specific ritual, routine. It wasn't a one